All right, good morning again, guys. So I have started recording. So whatever our activities, our conversation, everything is going to be recorded. Now, as I said, I'm going to discuss specifically two topics today. So these two topics includes, one is rendezvous point, another one is so these two topics, out of these two topics, one is rendezvous point and another one is how to add servers. Let's say how to add servers for monitoring during performance testing. All right, so these two topics, first of all I'm going to start with rendezvous point. So what is rendezvous point? So last night I sent you some questions, so let me bring those questions and then I will be going from there. So if you take a look, last night 10 question that I sent you, let me open it. Okay, now if you take a look, I have a picture here. Can you see this image here? Let's say that you have 5 virtual users, right? So when you are running a test in the controller, let's say you have a test case where you have 3 transactions. One is open application, another one is login, and then you have search products, right? You have these 3 transactions. So you want to see, like, your focus point is this search products. So you want to see, like, when these 5 users are concurrently working on this application, your focus is to see how this search product behaves. So what you do, like, when you start your test, depending on your runtime settings, you might have a random think time, right? And for these users, open application might take 2 seconds. For these users, open application might take 3 seconds. For these users, open application might take 10 seconds. So in that way, different users are hitting on search products on different time, depending on your runtime settings, depending on, like, when you are requesting for open application, it might take different amount of times for different users. When you are hitting login, it might take different amount of times for different users. But what do you want? You want to click on this search product, or you want to search product. You want 5 users will be searching for products at the same time, not like 5 second, 2 second interval with interval. No, you want all of the users will be pushing for search product at the same time. Exactly, when I say same time, absolutely same time, not like even a millisecond different. So how you do that? You understand, right, what I'm saying? So when you are running a performance test, let's say you have search products and you have 5 virtual users. So typically what happened, these 5 users, not exactly at the same time they hit the search products. They, depending on your runtime settings, depending on server response on these previous 2 transactions, different users hit search product different times. Is it meaningful?
So you say like they do this simultaneously, they try to start the product?
Yes, so my goal here, you will have situation in the real life that you will have to click on a certain point on or a certain function at the same time.
Okay.
We really want to see when 5 or 500 users hit search products at the same time, how does the application behave?
Okay.
Right? So let's say when you go to Amazon, what people do, people search for things, right? So they specifically they do very hard performance testing on search product by generating a certain amount of load at the same time. So if you want to hit on a certain on a function at the same time by using certain number of users, right? The mechanism is, before that transaction you introduce a rendezvous point. So what will happen in rendezvous point? Let's say virtual user 1, right? You have started your test. Virtual user 1 reaches this rendezvous point after 15 seconds. Virtual user 2 reaches this rendezvous point after 20 seconds. Virtual user 3 reaches this rendezvous point after 5 seconds. So these 5 users reaches this rendezvous point in different span of times. But what will happen? They will be waiting on that rendezvous point until all user reaches to this rendezvous point. When all user reaches to this rendezvous point, they are gathered in a certain place, and let's you say ready, set, go, 1, 2, 3. Then they will be jumping into search products. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay.
But
So
it's not going to put a load on the application. It's going to put a load on the application at the moment when there is a limit at the rendezvous point. If they all want to do the search at the same time, it's going to put a load on the application.
So if now let's say they are waiting on that certain point in the rendezvous point. Now when you are hitting the application at the same time, obviously on that certain time load will be higher.
Yes.
Comparing to the other times, right? Right, Abdul?
Yes, I can tell you. Yes, you're right.
So you will see when we will be testing this one momentarily from now, you will see when they are hitting to that certain point at the same time, you will see a spike on the response time.
Okay.
We are going to practically do it right now. So first of all, I was trying to explain you what is that rendezvous point. This is a good interview questions. So if we are clear about the theories, I want to go into the practical scripting. Are we good?
Mm-hmm. So the question is, what is he explaining right now? This is in terms of testing, not in terms of in reality. Because in reality, clients don't wait for other clients to hit the rendezvous point.
Oh,
this is for testing we are talking about.
Shahad bhai, now let me tell you one thing. So in reality, right? In reality, let's consider Facebook. In reality, what is happening in Facebook? Let's say, hold on. Let's say timeline, right? If you look at their server right now, at this point, now it is 9:35. If you look at probably 1 million user hitting timeline, right? Right? Let's say 1 million. I am just assuming the number. 1 million user hitting on the timeline.
Right.
Okay. Now, so if they want to test, okay, before, let's say they are going through a code update, if they want to test, we know that maximum 1 million users at a time hit our timeline. If they want to test it, okay, if 1 million user hit the timeline simultaneously, how the application behave. So in reality, let's say if in Facebook they have 100 million user right now using Facebook. Not 100 million people, all of them are clicking on timeline. Out of 100 million, 1 million people clicking on timeline, right? So when they test, they keep 1 million people hitting on timeline. Now these 1 million people, we are considering 5 people, but let's say we have a testing point that we have to hit that search product 5 people at a time without any difference. So in testing, the technique that we follow, we introduce rendezvous point so that 5 users can gather a point and then they can hit over there.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant, that the rendezvous point is basically for the purpose of testing we are talking, right?
Yeah, purpose of
to create the reality.
So purpose of testing in that sense, like we are clicking at a time on search product because in reality 5 people are hitting on the search product. In reality they are doing it, but in our case, in order to do that, like our users are reaching to that point in different times. So in order to hit same time, then we are introducing that rendezvous point.
I think I got it, Honorable. That's what I meant. That was my question. Thank you.
Right. So let me. Do you have any other question, guys, regarding rendezvous point?
No, we're very excited.
Okay. Then let me go to the script. How you can introduce rendezvous point in the script. First of all, as we are testing in web tool server, let me bring the application. Application server, and then let me create a new script. Web HTTP, and then I'm going to save this script in a certain. I'm still saying you are saving your script here and there. You need to notice this because how you are organizing your work, it is very important. So I'm saving my script in my D drive, and then I have a folder. I have a certain folder where I save my script. So inside that one I have a folder called performance testing. So I go there, and then let's say I'm going to save my script here. This is my location, and then I'm going to name my script in a certain way. Let's say this is TC10 or whatever you number sequentially. So let's say my script name will be right. This is the name of my script. Create. Okay. Now, before I record it, what is the thing that I'm going to do? Recording options, recording options, and from there in recording I'm going to check if it is this to radio button. I'm going to check this protocol is fine. This code generator, Naved, are you there?
You have to pick both, right?
Naved, are you there?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
I already selected this correlation section. I already checked this correlate and analyzed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So so that it is able to do automatic correlation, you will have to select that checkbox, correlate scan. You do not select this async scan, you select this correlation scan. Then you come here. Can you see?
Recording, just show again the recording, which button, radio button you will say.
In recording, if you go there, you will have to select these two radio button. Yeah.
I select both, like analyze and correlation, both are selected. So you selected one, first one.
Here?
Not second one.
No, you don't need to select the second one of it.
Okay.
So was it able to do correlation, manual correlation, automatic correlation?
No, this part is don't show up in my screen. I'll show you later.
Okay. All right. I'll take a look. Now here you come to advanced. Now you need to make sure that generate average find function for page titles. You know what this mean, right? For every page it will insert a average find by itself, right? Then see, I'm going same topics. You already have seen this setup multiple times, but you need to memorize. You need to have this thing in your brain so that in the interview these things come out of your brain fluently. Okay. Now for another application, actually, my homework was a little bit late. I was trying to get another suitable application. I was looking for another suitable application from where I can give you homework. But it is very hard to get a website for performance testing. You might get a website for functional testing, but to get a website for suitable for functional performance testing to learn is very hard. I didn't get one. Finally, I had to select the same application. Now,
in that case, I'm just asking, is it possible? Are you going to get like a project where you can test the future? Are you guys working on that?
at this point, we do not have a project like that.
Okay.
At this point, we do not have a like that.
Why is this this one? It's got a little data.
What is the question again? Oh, okay. So see here, it was WinINT level data and socket level data, right? So what happened? Socket level data, like when it is reading data from the application, socket level data is like it is a recording. How record. It is a API that comes with load runner. Sometimes with some application this doesn't work, then we will have to go with this WinINT level data. So this comes with Windows, not with load runner. So that's why sometimes if you cannot record in some application, instead of socket level data, you will have to select WinINT level data. So if you select both, right, then it will record everything twice.
Oh, okay.
So you select one of it, okay?
Okay.
Then you click OK. Your recording option is done, right? Now you select your runtime settings. If you want to proxy through Fiddler, and I'm seeing some of your script, you are keeping your proxy Fiddler option here, and then your Fiddler is not open, and then you are getting error. So if you do not want any Fiddler proxy, you select no proxy. Make sure you select no proxy. Now, so that's it about our recording setup. Now I'm going to start recording. Now when you click on record, guys, here you can select where you want to save your recording. Can you see here we have user initialization, we have action, we have user and creeper. You can select some when they record. Some people prefer their login to be in initialization, and then in the action main transactions, and in the user end they prefer logout. But we are doing it, and we will be doing it. We will be recording everything in action. So you can select
So in the real world, maybe in the action or
in the action, but sometimes some people prefer the certain part of their script will be going to in the init, and certain part of the script will be going to end. But in reality, most of the cases we do it in the action. Then record in browser. Can you see? You can select web browser, Windows application, remote application via load runner proxy. We are recording on web browser. Now can you see what browser you want to record? Can you see we have Microsoft Internet Explorer, we have Mozilla Firefox, right? Guys, can you see that we have Firefox and Internet Explorer? We have another major browser that is called Chrome, right? Yeah. So what will happen if you want to record in Firefox? What will happen if you want to record in Firefox? Now remember, LoadRunner support latest version of Internet Explorer. It means it can record on latest version of Internet Explorer, but it cannot record on latest version of Firefox or latest version of Chrome. It cannot. So in this, the software is a little bit behind in supporting those browser, because when LoadRunner came into the market, let's say I am using 12.5. I am using 12.5. On that time, latest version of Firefox was 47. So LoadRunner support I think up to Firefox version 39, I think, and LoadRunner do not support latest version of Chrome. So it support, let's say 47, or I think in the market the latest version is 53, Chrome 53, but it might support 3 or 4 versions behind, right? So do you understand what I'm saying? Like, LoadRunner do not support latest version of Mozilla Firefox or latest version of Chrome, but it supports latest version of Internet Explorer. Now in real life, you might see in real life that some of the application, right, some of the application, when they prepare the application, they do not really prepare the application for Internet Explorer. Their focus is, let's say, Mozilla Firefox or Chrome. They do not even, the application is not suitable for Internet Explorer, right? So what will so what will you do? Like, you'll have to select Firefox or Chrome, right?
Yeah.
Now in your computer it is always latest version of Firefox or Chrome. You do not have the older version.
Are you not doing anything in the screen? I see my screen is kind of freeze, or are you not doing anything?
So now in the script, can you see my cursor now?
Oh, okay, I see now. Okay, I thought probably my screen.
Okay. So I'm discussing a topic. So now guys, so now your application that you are testing is not suitable for IE, then you will have to do it in Firefox or Chrome.
There's a background.
Can everyone mute if you are not talking? Okay. So if your application is not suitable for Firefox or for Internet Explorer, then you will have to choose one of the other browser. But the problem is LoadRunner doesn't support the latest version of that software. What will you do in that situation? So what you will do, if you go to, let's say this is my Chrome, right? Now if you click here, and then if you go to help, right, and then if you look at about Google Chrome, you will see that it has the latest version is 57.0.298.133, right? And then it will always, Google Chrome will always update like its version. Like let's say if tomorrow a new version comes, it will update automatically. You cannot prevent it, right? And then let's say what version of Chrome LoadRunner supports, right? So you will see that LoadRunner, let's say so Google Chrome support LoadRunner 12.50 supports, right? So now if you will see if you go there, yeah, let me go there. So let's say our LoadRunner version is 12.50. Now 12.50, what is the Chrome or Firefox it supports, right? And let me see if we have this information handy here. Support for HTML reports in Google Chrome and Firefox and download page not available for Firefox. Support for the latest version of the new supported technologies and platforms. Support for the latest version of Internet Explorer, Google Chrome and Firefox browsers. So they are saying that now they support the latest version of Google Chrome, Firefox, and the other one. So still like in our work we are still using 12.01 LoadRunner version 12.01, and 12.01 doesn't support the latest version of this browser. So I will have to, let me see what is the version we have here. I'm going to check it quickly. So let's say we have this one, right? This one, in this one, what is the version? How do you check version? You come here and then you function HP virtual user generator, help, about HP virtual user generator, and over there can you see we have version 12.50, right? Can you see virtual user generator, everything 12.50. So let's give a try. They are saying that it supports latest version, but lot of time you will see it is not. So I'm going to show you how you can record on Firefox. Actually it is a different way. I'm going to introduce you that way, but before that let me bring the URL for this application. So this is our application, right? Now if I click on it, okay, so finally let me take this URL from here, right, and let me close this. Now if I go to record, let's say we want to record on not Internet Explorer, we want to record on a different browser. Can you see where I am clicking? And from there from there you will have to go to your C drive, and then you will have to find out program files. From here, program files 86, and then you will have to find out a Hewlett Packard HP, and can you see load runner? You click on it, and then can you see bin, and if you type Firefox, can you see Firefox here? You click on it, and then can you see this Firefox, right? Can you see, guys? So you will have to select this one. So that is how, if you want to record on Firefox, that is how you select your browser. You do not, it will not, you have a different Firefox browser that comes with when you install load runner in your computer, you get that different Firefox version as well. So when you do record, you use that browser, not the browser that is in your computer, that is you have installed. Now I'm trying to record in Firefox browser this application. Now if I start recording, let's see what happens, if it is able to bring the application. Yeah, let's see. Now I know that it will show this message, allow access. Okay, so can you see? So it has opened, but if you take a look here, tools, and if you take a look what is the actually in help about Firefox. So this Firefox is 37, but right now in the market it is 47. So the version they support is this 37. They do not support the latest one.
Okay.
You understood, right? They provided a Firefox with the tool that they support, and we are using that Firefox version, not the latest one.
Okay, so load runner only supports the 37.02, not the latest one.
Not the latest one. The latest is more than 47.
Okay.
Okay.
We
So
basically get the supported browser with the software download, right?
with the software installation.
Right.
Okay. So now, what is the version that comes with 12.50 is 37. So that is what they support, right? So let me show you. Let me try to see if they have any Chrome with them. We can see that with the 12.01 that we are using in work, it doesn't have a Chrome browser that comes with the software. So I can see there is a Chrome folder over there. I'm trying to see what is the version they support. Now I'll show you in a minute, but let me close this browser. Now So this script, let it generate that script. Now if you come here, let's see, so we have just opened the application, so it has opened the application. Now I'm going to record on Chrome. So how will you do that? Again, you will be clicking on this one, and then how will you, I'm going to show you how you can find that. So you come here in your C drive, you come here in your C drive, you come here in your C drive, and then go to program files 86, and then go to HP, right? You go to HP, and then you go to load runner, and then you go to bin, right? Here can you see we have a Chrome folder as well. We have a Chrome folder and a Firefox folder. In the earlier version, in our work, like what we use 12.01, it doesn't have a Chrome folder. So they have added support for Chrome probably, but it is not the latest version. You will see what is the version they support. Now if this is the Chrome, right? If you right click and click properties, can you see it is the size, but we really cannot see what is the version. I'm trying to see, yeah, so they support 39. Can you see the latest one is 57, but they probably support version 39. Right? Now let me try to do a record on this version 39 and start. Oh, we'll have to give the URL, right? This is my URL, start recording. So this is a running instance of Chrome. So I have a Chrome instance running here. I'm going to close it, and then before starting recording, no, we will not need to close. We already closed it. Now start record. Action was already recorded. Modify. Do you want to replace? Yes. Now let's see how this older version look like. Now I'll have to select this. Can you see how this older version looks like? It likes he has a big problem, right?
Yeah. So, Brother, since it doesn't support the latest version,
Yeah.
and if we try to run it in the latest version, it's not gonna work. So, just we have to use we should keep the old version as well.
Yeah, you have to use older version that comes with the tool. When you install the tool, you get a version. You'll have to use that version.
Yeah, but Chrome always update, like you said, they always update their version.
So, brother, the Chrome will update your version that you have installed in your computer, but the version that you have with the tool, it will not be updated.
Oh.
So this version that we are using here, it is actually coming with the tool in the tools folder, right? And you have seen that it is totally different. It is older version. It is kind of different than this is the older version, right? If you bring the new version, right? The new version is, again, let me show you where is your version that you have installed personally in your computer. Let me show you where is that. Now if you go to your computer, and in the computer you will see in your C drive, and if you go to program files, let's say program files, if you type C common files and Cisco, actually let's go to program files itself, and then let's type Google Chrome. Let's see. Yeah, can you see Google? You click here.
Yeah.
There is nothing, right? Okay, let me see where it is. Google. Okay. Program file cdc execute at Google. Right. And now can you see Chrome in application? This is the one that, can you see 5.1? It updated. It was updated on 5.1. It is automatically updated.
5.1, yeah.
I didn't update it.
Exactly.
And if you right click and look for properties, you will see well, let me see what is the version of it.
Details.
Details. Yeah, can you see it is 58?
58.
And
Yes.
the version that we are seeing with the tool, you have seen where it is, and it is 37. Again,
Yeah.
if you look at Firefox, the Firefox that I have installed personally in this computer, let me see what this Firefox file is. So program file, it is Mozilla Firefox. Mozilla Firefox, right? If you go there and if you click on, can you see this one? If you right click and go for properties, and the properties will be, can you see it is 53? But
Yeah.
sometimes if you do functional or automation testing, it is a good question. They will ask you in the interview, what is the latest version of Firefox, what is the latest version of Chrome, what is the latest version of IE, because if you are a tester, if you do testing your day-to-day life, they will assume you at least know what is the latest version of the
Yeah.
browser you have, and they might ask you a question. You have an application, specifically in banking. I was working in banking. The latest version of IE in the market was 11, but they were supporting up to, all of the banking application, they were supporting up to version 9. Right? So what will you do in this situation? Like in the market we have Firefox version 53, but banking application might support up to version 47. What will you do in that situation? You will have to download that older version, and then you will have to use that version for your testing. So it is a good question in the interview. Let's say in the market they might ask you, what is the latest version of Firefox in the market? Then you will say it is 53. Now they might ask you, let's say you have an application that doesn't support the latest version of 53. How will you test that application? So what you will be answering, depending on the version that application supports, I'll have to get that version and install it in my computer, and then I'll be able to test that application.
Yeah.
Right?
So what happens by the application itself when it is being used by the user?
So
I know for the tester we are using the
Shahid bhai.
earlier function, right?
Shahid bhai, see, when these applications are customer faced, remember, when these applications are customer faced, normally organization test, make sure, you will see there are a lot of testing works, because organization have to make sure that this software supports the latest version as well as the older versions, because some of the, you will see still there might be some people who are using XP operating system. So in XP still you cannot have the latest version of IE. In XP you can install only IE8 up to IE8, and if you look IE8, it is a very horrible, like it is a very hard to use browser, and in XP, like it is on that IE8, it is very hard to make an application compatible with IE8. But when many of the organization, if it is a very customer focused organization, they will make sure, they will consider still there might be some customer who are using XP and they have older version of browser. So they will specifically make sure their application are good with those older version of the browser. So they test in multiple browsers. They make sure they have computers or environment where you have older browser and you test the application on those browser as well. Even when you are doing automation, like in your day-to-day automation testing, when you are testing application, you'll have to make sure the application is running on IE, on Firefox, on Chrome, because you'll see a lot of time the application running good on IE, but when you run the application on Firefox or Chrome, the controls in the application buttons, they got scattered. So it doesn't look finished application, it looks like something is wrong with the application. So testers lot of time report issues like this is called browser compatibility. So when you are testing, you have to make sure that your application is good with all of the browsers. Depending on some of the organization, they might not really be testing all of the browsers because they do not have that much resource, or if you want to test everything on all browsers, obviously you'll have to spend more money for more testers and more testing hours. So if the organization cannot cope with the money, then they choose for a certain browsers, and if the application is good with this browser, they say we are good. So depending on the situation, if you work in a minimal organization, they will make sure at least their application is running good in all of the 3 major browser in the latest version. Okay?
That was my question, like two questions. Number one, when we are testing any older version of browser, for what the purpose of the sake of testing,
no.
Do that.
So, Shraddha, so let me finish answering your question. I forgot your whole question. So, one thing, like if the application is customer focused, they will make sure it is running on all of the latest browser, and also it is covering like at least the older version that still people are using. They will make sure the application is running good on those. But in banking, as I said, it was IE9, but the application those we were testing, most of them were in internal application. For inside bank there are thousands of employees and there are hundreds of applications to do their day-to-day job. So all of the application like we were testing basically were internal application. So those application, you will see, like I was working in a particular bank and all of their computer, they have IE9 and the latest version on the market was IE11. So if they want to move into IE11, it is a huge money, like they will have to invest, like they will have to work and they will have to upgrade all of the computers. So they were not investing that much money, so still they were going with their work with the IE9. So you will have situation depending on if you work in a very secure environment like banking, banking application, like they are very secure application because in banking application we used to work with all of the people's SSN address and all of the things, right? So if you work in a very secure environment, you might see like they are working a little bit backdated browser. You might see situation like this. Now, so the answer is, if your application is customer focused, they will make sure that it is running good on the latest version of the browsers, as well as the older version that are still people using, they will make sure the application is running good on them. But if it is internal application, as I said, those application, it was only in the bank's computer, not in customer's computer, those application. So those application we used to test in a little bit older version of the operating system. Alright, was I able to answer your question, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Shahid bhai, are we good? Okay, all right.
You've been good. I understand you good. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay, sure. All right. So let me move forward. Now you have seen like how you can record on a different browser, right?
Yes.
Is a good interview question as well. How do you record in a browser other than IE? So that is how you record. Can you see the path? Remember this path. It is in program files 86, and inside program files 86 you will see for IE, for Chrome you will see a browser, for Firefox you will see a browser. This program file 86, remember this browser is the browser that you have installed, right? You do not use this browser for your recording. For your recording you use browser from the tool that comes with the tool. You go to HP and then you go to LoadRunner, and inside LoadRunner you have the bin folder, and in the bin folder you have Chrome and Firefox. You select your browser from here, and you have seen that the version that comes with the tool is a little bit older than the version that you have installed, right? Okay. Now when we will be learning UFT, I will show you how you do in UFT, how you do record on the older versions. That is a different topics, but with LoadRunner that is how you do it. Are we clear?
Thank you. Clear.
Very good. Now let's move forward with the discussion. Okay, so rendezvous point, right? We are covering actually, we are going a little bit slow, but alright. Now if you click on record, now I want to record in actually IE. Let's do the record in Microsoft Internet Explorer. And what is the application that I am going to record? This is the application that I am going to record, and I am going to start my recording. Are we feeling sleepy, guys? You wake up in the morning.
Yes, it is time for breakfast.
Okay.
It's a different environment. It's not morning. Put up the different environment.
So guys, put a little bit hard work so that all of our effort we can get something successful. Right, we are going through a lot of things, but try to keep these things in your memory and try to implement these things. If you do not try, if you do not practice, I'm seeing the problem here is lot of us do not have enough time to practice what we are learning here. So you need to make sure that you are putting enough effort so that you are not behind, or you are good with the topics that we are discussing here. Now guys, now can you see we have opened the application, right? We have opened the application. The next task is we are going to log in. Before login, what we are going to do, we are create a transaction, right? Let's say this will be like first transaction or second transaction. Can anyone tell me? Second transaction, because the first transaction was opening application, right? So let's say it is TC10. Remember when I named the script, it was TC10. And what is the transaction number? Transaction number 02. And what is the transaction name? Login, right? Can you see how I am naming the transaction? Why I am naming in that way? Otherwise, when you are executing multiple script, your transaction name got messed up, right?
It's basically the number, then the transaction number,
Yeah.
and name of the transaction, right?
Yeah. Now click OK, and then let's do the login. What is the login credential? We have, let's say I have previously registered this automated one, and my password is L12345. Login. Right? Now I'm going to close this transaction. Now before I create another transaction, that is where my question. Before I create another transaction flags, I want a rendezvous point. So all of the users, when you are running a test, all of the users will be waiting on that rendezvous point before they click on flights, right? So I will be inserting a rendezvous point here. I will be inserting a rendezvous point here. So how will I insert rendezvous point? Can you see that this insert rendezvous point?
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
Can you see users from different direction? They are coming to a point and they are waiting over there. So that is the insert rendezvous point. If you click on insert rendezvous point, give a name, right? So let's say we are giving a name of this rendezvous point as TC10 and rend01, right? And for what? Like, you know, wait to click flights. You give a meaningful name. In testing, in your IT career, it is very important. You always be logical. You always be, you always left clue behind your work. If you do not left clue, like by clue I mean when you are giving a name, give a meaningful name, because you might be working in an organization. In the next month you might be not there. If you do not leave clue, they will have to reinvent the wheel. If you leave enough clue, then whoever is taking over, they will be understand. Okay, by meaningful name they will be understand what is this for, right? So I'm going to click OK here. So I got the so I have inserted the rendezvous point. Now I am going to create a transaction. Now again TC10, I am working on the same test case TC10. What will be my transaction number here? 03. And I am going to click on what? I am going to click on flights. Click on flights. Okay, we are done. Let's say this is our test case. The final transaction is log off. Now I am going to close this transaction and I am going to create another transaction TC10. And what will be the number of transaction here? 04. And our last transaction is sign off. And
Sign off.
yeah, can you see I am going to click on sign off.
So between flight and the sign off, you don't put rendezvous point?
No, I need only one rendezvous point. As I said, I want all of my users to be waiting before they click on flight. They gather in a certain place and at a time they click on the flights.
Okay.
So that's why I put my rendezvous point before flights.
So you just put the busiest transaction. We use that before we put rendezvous point.
Yeah.
They need to wait to hit the application at the same time to check really how much load the application can take.
Yeah, like not all of transaction is depends on the which transaction is very busiest. Like everyone try to slide, so that's why we put. Okay.
So now that if you want to,
if you right, let's say if I put a rendezvous for sign off, we can still do a rendezvous on sign off, right?
Yeah, you are absolutely right. If you want rendezvous point on multiple transaction, you can do that. But here we are focusing on a most busiest transaction, and we are putting a rendezvous point before one transaction.
Okay.
But if you want, you can put rendezvous point before each transaction.
Just like a pin time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So you will see where that rendezvous point goes. So I am going to stop. Oh, actually I have created a transaction but I didn't click on sign off, so let me do it. So TC10 and what is the transaction number? 04 sign off. I already have created a transaction, so let me try to create another time. Probably okay. Now I am clicking on sign off and then I am done. I am going to stop recording. Okay, so this correlation I'm not going to do it right now. Remember, I got this one because I have selected correlation.
Yeah, so I don't find this part, like correlation part.
Yeah, I'll take a look, Naved. I'll take a look. Now, I'm not going to continue with correlation. First, I want to take a look how my script looks like, right? Can you see I don't have a transaction here for opening application? Is that correct? So I'm going to put a transaction here before I do anything else. LR start transaction, and what is the transaction name? Let's say PC 1001 open application, and then I'm going to close the transaction. Right, so LR end transaction, and at the end LR auto, right? Now let's take a look. Where is my rendezvous point? Now can you see, before I click on flights, this is my rendezvous point, right? Right?
Yes.
Okay. Now.
So LR and transaction এখানে LR auto এটা করতে পারছি।
Oh, LR auto, remember when you do end transaction, when you start transaction you do not need to put LR auto, but when you end transaction you will have to put LR auto.
Every time?
Yeah, every time. When you end transaction, it is a syntax. Yeah, sure.
Maybe I'm going too fast, but the LR rendezvous, it's not like the LR thing that where you put a timer on it, time or not?
No. I will show you. There are some other setup. It is not finished here.
Okay, right.
All right. Now, guys. So remember, your recording is done. Now, can you see this unnecessary think time? 155 seconds, because we were explaining something, so it has recorded that think time. And then can you see I have created a transaction, and then I didn't click on sign off, but this transaction is here, LR start LR end, but there is nothing in it. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So we will be removing this transaction, right? Or you want me to keep it?
Yeah. No,
Remove it, right? We do not want to create unnecessary transaction that have nothing. And then first of all, what you do, you remove all of your unnecessary think time. How you do that? Select it without the think time, press Ctrl F, and then find all. You have in three places. Start from the bottom, do not start from the top, because if you remove it from top, then you will have difficulty in let me show you what is the difficulty you will see. Let's say you start with the first one, you remove it, and you remove that empty line as well, right? If you now click up for the second one, can you see now it is on a different line, but your think time is on different position. So you do not do it in that way. How you do it? You select all and start from the bottom. You remove it, remove the empty line, and then you click on the first one. Can you see it is straight away taking me over there? You remove all of the unnecessary think time. The next task. Sure, go ahead.
This empty line, if you leave it like that, does it affect your script?
No, empty line doesn't affect your script, but to beautify the script, you remove the empty line.
Okay.
Right? Now, the next task, guys. The next task is.
Just a question. As far as the think time, your suggestion was we are going to put think time after the every transaction end up, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you remove the unnecessary think time. then you put your necessary think time. After every end transaction, normally in reality we put 20-second think time, but for our testing, to keep it simple and short, I am going to put 2-second think time, and then I am going to put some cosmetic thing here to mark the end of transaction. So I am going to copy these 2 lines, and then I am going to look for all of the end transaction, find all, and I am going to start from the bottom. Now do I need to put a think time here? No, because at the end of the script, this is the end of the script, and and at the end of the script, when your iteration is executed, no, we don't need, because it will be pacing time, right, Naved?
Yes.
So you come here before, like I am going to put a think time here. You come here, you put a think time here. We already put a think time over there. Now we have done with think time, right? Then the next thing, let me run it. Okay, so you can see that when we are trying to log in, now can you see we have an error in what line number? In what line number? 27. How you go to that error? You double click on it. Can you see? Can you see in login, in the transaction where we are logging in, we are not able to see the web tools. Now a lot of you ask me the question, it is saying I am not getting web tools, but you do not research why you are not getting web tools. The problem here, you will be able to get lot of clue. Guys, if you are working in IT, try to be like research oriented. Try to be, it say like you try to research and solve things. You try to research and solve things. This is the core thing in IT. Now if you take a look here, runtime viewer, can you see? You can see why it is failing. Probably a bad user session, right? So error text web tools not found. This is not the problem. Error text web tools not found. This is not the problem. You ask me question, it asked text not found. What is the problem? I am saying this is not the problem. This is not the problem. Why? The problem is, if you look at your runtime viewer, it is saying a bad user session. Now this text web tools, if your login is successful, right? If your login is successful, you will get a page. From that page, it is checking for a text web tools. If your login is not successful, eventually you are not getting that page. So obviously you will not get that text. So that's why it is saying text not found. But this is not the problem. Problem is in different place. What is that? What is the problem? The problem is why your login is not successful, because of the session ID. How do you fix?
Correct. Yes.
How do you fix it? Now.
If your session ID is fine in the Fitla, it's showing that it is there. I don't know how you want to fix that.
Hold on. So this is a good question. In the interview, they'll be asking, what is correlation? Why do you need correlation, guys? I give you lot of I give you lot of explanation. Why you need to correlate that value, because I told you a practical example that you are going to, let's say, in a secured office, you are going to, let's say, White House. So they will give you, I'm not sure what is their procedure, I'm just giving an example. So every time you go there in the main gate, like, they will give you a code. So you go inside, you will be able to use that code to go into other gates. So you go to the other gates inside and you input that code, you will be able to enter to the other offices in the inside White House. But let's say you visited today. If you go next day, the code that you have used today, it will not work, because that code is valid only for a certain amount of time. Now the same way here, when you are logging in, when we record the application used this session ID, but this session ID is not valid for the next time. Next time when you log in, this session ID will not work. You will have to get another session ID. So it's a dynamic value. Every time you log in, you will have to use a dynamic value. Now normally in the application, how does this dynamic value comes? So normally this dynamic value, application produce that value in a previous request. When you submit a previous request, it produces that value. You need to capture that value from the previous request. So what is the previous request? In this case, we have a open application. Can you see? So it is producing that session ID from the open application. Now you need to capture it here. To capture it, that is what correlation is. That dynamic value that you need to use in the application during runtime, you capture that value from a previous request by using WebReg setParam or WebReg setParam EX, and then you use that one for the subsequent request. That is what correlation is. Now you can capture that value in two ways. One is manual correlation, one is automatic correlation. We have seen by using Fiddler how you can do manual correlation by taking the left and right boundary from Fiddler and then put it in WebReg save, or you can do I am not going into this correlation part because I have lot of discussion. I don't have time to cover it again. So what I am going to do, I am going to do automatic correlation here. Let me show you. Like, you can do automatic correlation in different way. First of all, you can do, can you see Design Studio? If you click on Design Studio, it will try to find all of the dynamic value. But remember, if you do it in that way, you might be ending up correlating some value that you do not need to correlate. So if you ask Design Studio to bring all of the values that you need to correlate, it might bring the values that you do not need to correlate. You end up correlating unnecessary values, right? So you can do it in that way. If you do it in that way, let's say you can if you click on correlate, it will be correlating this value. But I am not going in that way. What I am going to do, I know from the runtime viewer that it is giving me a trouble because of the session value, right? So first I am going to fix that session value. How will I fix it? I am going to right click and then I am going to click on correlate selection. Can you see correlate selection? I am going to click on it, and then can you see now it has brought only that one. Previously it brought two things. Now it has one because I want to correlate this one. I am going to click on correlation. Now if you take a look in your login request, can you see that dynamic value is replaced by the parameter name that you provided, the parameter name, and Can you see? Before opening application, it has added a WebRef save param ex, and can you see? It named that parameter user session. It has provided left boundary. It has provided right boundary. Now it will be capturing that value from here, and then it will be logging in. When it will be logging in, it will be using that value. Now, before you run, how it affect, what you do, you go to your runtime settings, and in the log you select extended log, parameter substitution, and then you run your test. Okay, now if you take a look, can you see in line number 18, can you see we have saved a parameter user session, we have saved a dynamic value, right? This dynamic value. And what is line number 18? If you go up, can you see this is the place where you are opening application. Now we have captured that dynamic value while opening application. Now we are trying to use that value in login, right, for logging in. Now if you click next, right, can you see now it is able to log in successfully? Tim, are you there?
Yes, we have.
Okay, so if you are still having issue with correlation, we have very good videos on correlation in our site. Revisit the video, because if I cover again correlation, I will not get time to cover the topics that I am intending to cover, right? But I have give a good explanation again on correlation. Now, so now you have seen that our login is successful, right? Now why you need to do parameterization? When you will be executing your script from controller, from views, and how many user you can run at a time? From views, and where, like, why we are using views, and can anyone tell me?
Yeah, we can run up to whatever we want.
No.
We use to create our scripts.
Yeah. First of all, we use. First of all, we.
For 100 people, like 10 views or like 10 times 10.
Nabed.
It depends on how many users.
Nabed, hold on. My question was, first question was, why we are using views, and it is to generate our script, to condition our script. And then my another question, how many user we can execute our script concurrently from views? How many user?
10.
No, from views, and guys, from views, and
Sorry.
no. From views, and at a time you can execute only for one user, not multiple user.
One version, yeah.
One user, like at a time when you are executing a script, it is actually working one user, not multiple user. From views, and
Okay.
remember in the controller we have capability to put up to 10 user.
Yeah.
But from views, and when you are generating script, you can run only by only one user. Does it make sense?
Yes, it makes sense.
Okay. Now when you are running the script from the controller, now another question, why we are using controller? We are using controller to create the load profile and to execute script with multiple concurrent users.
So I get to load the profile, you said?
We are using controller to create load profile and to execute performance test with multiple concurrent users.
Okay.
Now,
So Kamala, I have a quick question, like in runtime setting, how many, if you click runtime setting, if you click it, and then you see the run logic,
yeah,
click on that, yeah. So we have a number of iterators. So suppose we have a 10 10 users. So I put 10 users in extended parameterized, or one user number of iteration I put 1. Like this is kind of like, also this one is same thing in controller, is runtime setting. The same thing I put 1 or 10.
Naved, now this is a code thing you need to understand. What is iteration and what is virtual user? Can you see it is asking number of iteration? Number of Naved, it is very important you understand what is iteration. If you put, let's say, you can put 1000 iteration here, it doesn't matter. You can put 5 iteration. Now this iteration, what does this iteration mean? Let me show you what does this iteration mean. You will have very clear understanding after this. So let's say I am putting, let's take a look the breakpoints. Let me remove all of the breakpoints and let me put a breakpoint at the sign off. So in the runtime settings, how many iteration I put? 5, right?
5. Yeah.
Now you will see what does this mean. So 5 iterations means we have one virtual user here. He will be executing the script 5 times,
5 times,
one after another, not at the same time, one after another. So now we are in this point where we are logging in. So if you go, can you see? Go ahead.
At some point we need some break.
Can we stay till 11:30? Then I will let you go.
You go for 1 week?
No, yeah. I want to continue till 11:30 and then we will be done.
Okay, that's fine.
Everyone fine?
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
fine.
Okay, alright.
So you get a 1 week break.
Yeah, so now guys,
1 week.
so can you see Naved? Focus on here. I'm signing off. Hold on. You didn't understand. Can you see? I have done with one iteration.
Yes.
And now I am starting another iteration.
Run it again, then another iteration.
Yeah, so in that way it will be executing it how many times?
5 times.
5 times. Why?
Because I put iteration 5, that's why.
Iteration 5. And this 5 iteration, is it doing at the same time or one by one?
1 by 1.
One by one. So it is not simultaneous. So
It's not like pay virtual user. It's
No.
Iteration.
iteration, now when you put iteration, if you have 5 guys, can you go on mute if you are not speaking, please?
Please, everybody yourself.
Alright.
Nobody talking behind you.
Okay, so guys, if you go ahead.
Yes. So if I understand, the iteration is basically how many times the script is going to be running. But let's say I got 10 users or 100 users or 10,000 users in the parameterization. You know, so one iteration means that the whole 10,000 will be running for one time. If I put like 5 iterations, so the same 10,000 will be running 5 different times, but
Yeah.
not looking at 5 times. Is that right?
Yeah.
So in a right way, I put like if a 100 P user, virtual user, but I put one iteration. It is okay, like this one time, all extended parameterized, one time all user will be done.
Yeah.
Okay, understand. And the same thing is runtime setting, same thing is controller, same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
But from views, and remember, you will be able to execute one user at a time. When you execute the script from views, and it will be executing for one user, but when you are executing from controller, it will be executing for the specified number of users.
Yeah, depend on how many users we need to put. Okay.
Yeah. Now let me make it one. Now I have a couple of more things to do with this script. Now let me go to the other thing that you do. You always name this action according to your script. Now how do you do that? You save script as, and then you from there you copy the name. You copy this name, right? And then you come here, right click, rename, put a underscore, right click, paste, and then you remove this version. You always rename your action, and then can you see the action is renamed here? And then you do parameterization. How do you do parameterization? Remember this automate code one. When I am running the test from controller, I do not want every virtual user use the same user. So what I am going to do, I am going to correlate this, I am going to parameterize this value. I am going to right click, and then can you see you can select replace with parameter and create new parameter, right? I'm going to name it as, what is that? P user ID, and I'm going to create it as a file, and in the properties, right, I'm going to create table, and then edit with notepad. I'm going to provide all of the Nafisa Babi, you are making, please go on mute. No problem, no problem. Okay. So guys, can you see I have 10 users here?
Yes.
I'm going to close, save. Now, over here, if I select edit with notepad, P user ID, that's fine. Now, I have all of the users, but because of the problem here, I cannot see all of them. Okay, now I can see all of them, right? Now, I'm going to select by name, P user ID, and then I'm going to select unique, each iteration, continue in cyclic manner, click close, click OK. Do you want to replace all occurrence? Yes. Now can you see we have a parameter. You have learned also how to create parameter from here by clicking new, but we have learned another way of creating parameter from by selecting this, right? Is it clear, guys? You don't hear me?
Sound coming slowly.
Okay, so let me know if you can you hear me now, guys?
Yeah, I can hear you now. It's okay.
Okay. Alright. Now I have created the parameter, and one other thing here, this password parameter actually tool itself did it, but we do not want it. It encrypted the value, but we do not need it. I commented out this line, and I'm going to replace this parameter with a value. We know what is the password, right? L1234, right? And then basically I'm done with all of the script related issue. I have the rendezvous point where I have the rendezvous point here in before I click on line number 61, right? So now I have my script is ready, everything is ready. Let me do a final execution. Okay, hold on. So before I do the, let me execute the script can iteration to make sure that I'll be executing the script can iteration to make sure all of my user ID are good. So how do you do can iteration? You select 10 here, and then you start executing.
Did you select the extended parameter?
Oh yeah, extended log. I have selected extended log. Guys, do you know what extended log is doing? Can anyone answer me? Can you see it has executed 10 iteration?
Yes.
Now what do you mean by extended log? If you select extended log, it will show you what are the parameters, what are the value of the parameters. It will show you everything. If you do not select extended log, you will not be able to see these parameters, value of these parameters. So all of my data are good. We are in a ready set go status at this point. I'm going to save this one. Now I'm going to go to controller, where I'm going to show you the next phase, how you can implement that rendezvous point. So I'm going to execute this script from my virtual machine. I have virtual machine running here. I'm going to go there, and can you see I have a, let me start from beginning. Let me start controller. Sure.
So every time we use controller, we need to use virtual machine?
Farhana, I am using virtual machine for controller because in my base machine my controller is not running good. That's why.
Oh.
You will be using it from. Go ahead.
Our basic controller is good.
If your controller in the base machine is good, you do not need to go to virtual machine. Okay, now I'm going to create a new scenario, right? And I'm going to select my script that I have created. I'm clicking on browse, and then can you see I have created a new script today, right? I'll be sorting it by, can you see last modified, and now I can see my script. This is my script that we created, right? Guys, are you agree with me?
Date is 5/6.
5/6. So that's why can you see, if you have lot of folder, it is hard to figure out what is your script. So what you do, you modify it according to the latest modification. And if you do not see this column here, what you do, you click here and select details, and then you will be able to see this. If you are in different mode, you will not be able to see that. So you select details and then you click here, and then you will be able to see your latest modified script in the first line. I'm going to select my script. I'm going to click OK. So basically in this video, what we are doing, whatever we have learned, we are covering many of the things. We are touching many of the things, right? Okay, now guys, we will be selecting basic schedule, and how many users we can use? 10, and start all users simultaneously. Normally you can start all users simultaneously, but we prefer to go with, let's say, 2 or 3 users depending on application. We do not provide all of the users at the same time. We prefer like users go for the load gradually, not at the same time. We ramp up the users gradually. So I am saying ramp up 2 users every 1 minute, no, every 10 seconds, right? And then I'm going to ask run until completion. So we can run until a certain time. We can say 5 minutes, 10 minutes, we can do that, but we can say run until completion. When you say
One question, you say like PHP1 is for DB user, PHP2 use like for B user. How you do that on it?
What? Again, what is the question?
You say like this one is the transaction 1 is used like 3B user, and transaction 2 is like 4B user.
Okay.
So you're gonna use here?
Okay. Now not transaction, let's say you have two script, right?
Yeah, yes, right.
Let me bring another script. I will remove that script. I'm going to bring another script. Let's say I'm going to bring this script, right? Now let's say you want to put different number, x number of user in script 1, x number of user in script 2. How you do that? That is the question, right?
Right, right.
So you go to scenario, and can you see here convert scenario to B user group mode and click yes. Now from here you can select, let's say you want to put 3 users here and you want to put 7 users here. You can divide the user.
Oh, okay, okay.
So what you do, you go to scenario and you select convert to percentage, whatever you want. Does it make sense, guys?
Right. Yes.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to remove this script because we know how to execute multiple scripts at a time. Let me remove this. I don't need it. Now, so we have let's say if you say run for 5 minutes, then it will be running for 5 minutes. But if you say run until completion, guys, focus on here. If you say run until completion, now what is your completion point? You will have to give a completion point. When you are running for run until completion, then in your runtime settings, so this is the script, select the script and go to your runtime settings, and over there you mention how many iteration you want over there, right? So if you say run until completion, make sure you mention how many iteration you want. If you have 10 virtual user, you want to make sure like 10 virtual user, each of the virtual user will be executing, let's say x number of time. Let's say each of the virtual user will be executing the script for 5 times. So I am providing 5 times. In the pacing, you provide a fixed pacing, let's say 2 seconds, right? In the log, extended log, parameter substitution, in the think time, let's say we want to provide a 2 second think time, limit think time to 2 seconds. In reality, we provide a random think time, but here to make it shorter, I am doing it in that way. In the miscellaneous, make sure you provide generate snapshot and remove this, each action is a transaction. And then in the preferences, you go there, you uncheck this file and inline, right? So I want run until completion, but what is my completion point? I want every virtual user to be execute the scenario for how many time? 5 iterations. 5 iterations. Yeah, let me check. I have no proxy, right? Okay.
How many iteration you put in real life? Like
in real life, depending on situation, in real life normally what you do, if you run until a certain time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 hour, 4 hours, 8 hours, in that way. You understood? Depending on requirement. Sometimes there will be like asking you run the test for 1 hour. Sometimes they will be asking run a longer test to see if there is any memory leak. So depending on their requirement, normally we run a 1 hour test and then a 4 hour test or 8 hour test. We do not run a test.
How many virtual users you make? Like
so the number of virtual users nowadays depending on the number of virtual user is depending on the application requirement. So application is to handle, let's say 100 virtual users, we provide 100 virtual users. Application is to provide 2500 virtual users, we provide 2500 virtual users. Depending on the performance criteria, what are the concurrency they are looking for. So I am running here run until completion and my completion point is 5 iteration. Then we are done with runtime settings. The final thing, rendezvous point, guys. The rendezvous point, again you go to scenario, and can you see rendezvous? You click here. Now, okay. Before that, I can go up to how many user here? 10. What? Now, let's go to rendezvous point, and can you see policy? You click on policy. So release when, so we are saying our rendezvous point is before click on flights, right guys? Where is our rendezvous point?
Yes.
Can you see TC10 rendezvous point, rendezvous 01 wait to click flights, right? Can you see what is our rendezvous point?
Yes.
Now how many users you want it, like you want when it reach 8 users, right? Not 10 users. You want when 8 users reach that rendezvous point, then it will be releasing that, right? You got it?
Why did
I'm just saying, if you want
maximum 10?
if you want 10, you can provide 10, but we have maximum 10, right? So you can provide 10. If you do not want 10, you can provide 8, depending on the, again, performance criteria. Depending on performance criteria, you can provide however many user you need. But let's say you have 10 virtual users, but you provide 20. What will happen in this situation? So in your scenario, you have 10 users, but you have provided here 20. How will you do that? So what it will do? What it will do, guys? Focus on here. So you can reach maximum 10 virtual users, but by mistake you provide 20 users here. What it will do? It will be waiting 30 seconds on that point, and if it doesn't get any more virtual users, and 30 seconds pass, it will kick off. However many users it got, it will kick off. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. So we have 10 virtual users, and then we provide, like we ask it, when it reach 10, then it will be kick off the rendezvous point. Or let's say we provide 8, right? Now click OK. OK. Now let me do one other thing. Result settings. Provide a results path. Browse. Let's say I want to save my.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Yes, we choose the total 10 views, right, on the when it not on the controller, but on the script. Do we have to mention the quantity of the users? You just put it in the 10 with the number.
Where again?
On the top of the right, on the script, right hand on the, like quantity, not there.
Which one?
Right, on the right.
Here.
Just put in manually 10 users.
See.
Then,
Madhav bhai.
already choose the 10 users, right?
This is B users, and the number of users you provided in the script. So when you provide 10 B users, these 10 B users will be taking 10 ID from your script, and they will be executing your script.
Okay.
So let's say if you provide 8 virtual users, right? So what it will do, if you go to your script, let me go to your script. If you go to your script, how many virtual users I have provided? 8. So what it will do, let me show you one thing. When they will be executing from your script, if you go to your parameters, how many users you have? 10, but how many virtual user you have? 8. So 8 virtual user will take 1 2 3 4 8 user ID from here, and they will be logging in. Virtual user 1 will be logging in using automate code 1, virtual user 2 will be logging in using automate code 2. In that way 8 virtual user will be taking 8 ID from your script. If you have 10 virtual users, 10 virtual users will take 10 ID from your script and they will be using it for login. Make sense?
Okay.
No, not okay. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm going to close that script. Now, so I'm going to provide 10 virtual users and I'm going to set up my result folder where I want to save it. Let's say I want to save it in desktop of this virtual machine. Right, and then I'm going to give a meaningful name. Okay, now I am going to start my execution and I want everyone focus here how this rendezvous point works. Can you see the execution has started? I am also keeping my number of transaction open here. Can you see 2 users is running right now and it is not everything is failing, right? Everything is failing because I didn't started the server, right? So I will have to start the server. Let me start the server. Web to server, right? Now let me stop execution and restart the execution. So we have some error, but let me restart the execution. So close and let me restart the execution. Yes. Now if you also click on here, can you see Rendezvous how many? Oh, everything is going to be failed here. I'll have to find out why it is failing. So let me see what are the error messages here. Insufficient record for parameter p user id, right? What it is saying, insufficient record for p user id. Let me see what is the why it is saying insufficient user. We know that we have 10 virtual users and we have 10 ID in the script. Yeah.
This was not my problem, and I increased that number to like 200-300 because I was thinking because we have three scripts together and 10 users, so probably you keep coming in a cyclic order. So I put 200 something. I forgot. I'm just telling you this was one of my problems. Let's see how you do that.
Yeah, alright, sure. Let me see. So I have p user ID and then I'm starting from what is my first parameter is 1, right? First data line is 1 and edit with notepad. Now I have an empty line, automate code 1, automate code 2, and in the script itself unique each iteration. Oh, the thing is when you are like when you say guys, when you say 5 iteration, right, 10 user if they execute, guys, if the 10 user if they execute 5 iteration each, how many iteration there will be? 50. Now if you say unique, do you have 50 unique user ID here? No. So what you will have to do, you will have to select sequential here in this situation. Make sense?
Yeah, but when they repeat, let's say it was a login, but if you log in on one time automate code, how would it be? How would it be logging in with the same ID automate code 1? I mean, if it is just sign in, so that's not a problem because you are signing in as many times as you want if it is already registered. But you are basically registering new IDs
No, Shadba, you didn't notice. We are logging in. We are not registering user here.
No, I know. I'm just asking. If in the case of registering, so this is not gonna work. That's what I mean.
Yeah, in case of registering, you have seen we have provided 1000 users, right?
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, 1000 users. The purpose was so that it doesn't use the same user ID for registering.
So, Pramova, in real life, they give you a criteria, how many users we put, how many iterations we put, everything they give you a scenario. Then we do performance testing.
Yes.
Okay.
Your performance testing,
So how many,
remember,
how many times
Nabed,
Yes.
I have last night I had to spend a good amount of time in answering this question. If you take a look here, the 10 question that I sent you, the first question was, what are the performance testing process you follow in your organization? Right?
Okay.
I had to spend a good amount of time in writing the answer of this question. So here we have if you notice here, the performance tester then has meeting with project team to gather performance testing requirements.
Because
So we gather the performance testing requirements and then we move forward with the performance testing.
Okay, once we collect everything, then we go move forward.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we had to give lot of pain to the other teams to give us the right information. Like when a project comes for performance testing, normally we communicate with the BAs, business analyst. So those guys are kind of, they don't have very technical knowledge. So we have to push them a lot. Hey guys, you are not providing me that information, but I cannot move forward without this information. Then they said, oh, I'm not a technical person. How will I get that? So what about if you are not a technical person? It's your duty. If you don't have the information, you collect it from other people and then provide it to us. They collect the information and they provide it to us. Okay?
go back to class and be
So we put lot of pressure to the BAs. Like with performance tester, the BAs are, man, I'm not technical. I don't know what is concurrent users. I don't know what is virtual users. Then we have to educate lot of people. Hey guys, lot of time we have to explain. Hey, could you clear your concurrency? What is the concurrency in your application? They don't understand what is concurrency. Every time they are testing 2-3 times an application in an year. Most of the times we have to educate them what is concurrent users. Right? So go through this interview question, Nabil. Now you got my answer, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now let me move forward. So the issue that we are seeing here, we have 5 iteration. For 5 iteration, 10 users will be executing 50 iterations. But if you select unique, you do not have those many unique user in your script. Then it is throwing error. So you select sequential. Then hopefully these error will be gone. Now close this.
Those using a unique instance, I get it right?
So if you you have to use unique lot of time, and if you are using unique, they will have to provide you unique users.
Yes, I'll say on the notepad, usernames are unique. My life will be different. You understand?
Yeah, they are unique, but when you are executing only 10 iteration, then they are unique. But when you are executing the next batch of iteration, then you don't have any more unique.
Oh, okay, you're right.
They are repeating using the user, right?
So you use sequential. Okay, I see.
Yeah. Now you come here and refresh the script because you changed something in the script, right? And then you go there and look at the runtime settings again. So run logic, 5 iteration, pacing, 2-second log, parameter substitution, think time, limit think time, miscellaneous, take screenshot, preference. We have everything good. Now let me see what is the condition in the rendezvous point. Rendezvous point, we are asking 8 virtual user. When 8 virtual user will be reaching that rendezvous point, we want to kick it off. Now let me start the execution again. Yes, and let me keep the. Now notice here guys, notice here, can you see rendezvous 2, right? Users are coming and they are stopping in the rendezvous point. 4, right? They are coming and stopping in the rendezvous point. They are not running. Can you see? They are going to the rendezvous point. They are not running. They are logging and then they are waiting. Can you see? It is not moving forward after login as well, right? It is not doing any more transaction. It is not clicking on flags. Can you see? Now it is. Can you see? After it reached 8, now it is running. It is running, and can you see? Now it is clicking on flags and does it make sense, everyone? Can you see it is doing the second iteration? Now it is going rendezvous point and then it is moving forward with run, right? Can you see how it is going on? So it is reaching the rendezvous point, then it is going for a run. So it is reaching rendezvous point and then it is flashing all of the users at a time on clicking flags. Yeah, it is going, it will be doing the same thing until it reach all of the iteration. All of the iteration means 5 iteration. We have 5 iterations. So now can you see, like 5 users reaches rendezvous point. Now it is waiting for 30 seconds. After that it will be pushing these 5 users. Can you see 5 users in the rendezvous point? It is waiting for a certain time. Now it is pushing, right? Now 1 user in rendezvous point. Now it is waiting for 8 users, but it will be waiting only 30 seconds because it will not get 8 users because the other users already finished executing 5 iterations. Can you see 1 user in rendezvous point, but he is waiting. He will be waiting another, let's say 10-15 seconds, and then he will be. Now another 2 users in rendezvous point. They will be waiting 30 seconds, and then they will be flashing it. Why they are waiting 30 seconds? In order to see if they have 8 users. Okay, now 30 seconds, right? Now probably they will be done soon. 1 user left. Can you see 48, 49 login? So when it will be reaching 50 login, then it will be done because 5 iteration, 10 virtual users. So 1 user, he is waiting 30 seconds to get another 7 users so that the number becomes 8. When the number is 8, it will be straight away going for the rendezvous, but if it doesn't get 8 user, after 30 seconds it will be kicking off that 1 user, right? Now you can see 50. There is no, there is probably 50 login. Now can you see here we have 49 click on flags. It is waiting for the last click. So it is waiting for 8 users. Now after 30 seconds, when it will be clicking on flag, then we will be done. Okay, so we are nearly done, right? We are nearly done. Okay, so this is what rendezvous point is. Now let me show you another thing. Let me go there. Let me edit my rendezvous point policy. Instead of 10 users, I'm going to, instead of 8 users, I'm going to put 10 users. right?
Yeah.
And one other thing I wanted to show you how you can add, like when you are executing performance testing, very important thing that you do while you are, inputting load, simultaneously you are monitoring, like the application where it is hosted, you monitor the health of the servers. So how you add those servers? Can you see here Windows resources, guys? Can you see here Windows resources? Now you double click on system resources, you double click system resources, then you will get Windows resources, right? Can you see? You double click on Windows resources and then you come here, right click here. Can you see add measurement? Now, so if you have, like as I said, in real life your application might be hosted in 8 or 9 servers. So if right now here we do not have the servers, but we have a local host, right, where we are executing the test. So our application is hosted in the local host. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add, and what is the server that we have? Local host, right? And I'm going to click OK. Now in local host, can you see we have processor, right? Processor time. I'm going to monitor the processor time. So this processor time, add. Processor time, that's it. The processor time, add. Add close and then OK. Now can you see, like we have processor time here, right? So let me reset. So that is how, if you have multiple server, how you add them? You right click here and add measurement, and then can you see you add and you type your server name. You will get these names from the BAs. Again you will be knocking out those BAs. Hey guys, I need the server. So they will give you the server names and then you will be providing the name here. Now can you see that it has, we are seeing some spike here in the Windows resources, right? Because it is a local host and we are monitoring the local host straight away, although we are not running the test. Now let me start execution again. Now what is my rendezvous point? 10 virtual users. Let me start this execution. So now you will see it will be waiting. Can you see after login it is not move forward anymore? It is waiting 10 users, right? Can you see after login it is not bringing the click flight because it is waiting for 10 users to reach the rendezvous point and then it will kick off all of the users at a time. Can you see now we have 6 users, but after logging in the script is not moving forward. And also look here the resource users graphs here. So 8 users. Now can you see last how many users running? 2. Now 10 users. Can you see after 10 users all of the users go for running, and now you will see it is clicking on flights. It is clicking on flights. Can you see how it is going on? So when it is reaching rendezvous point 10 users, then it is clicking off to click on flights. So 5 times it will do the same thing.
So this time, beginning time, so we select the local host. Did you select the local host beginning?
Yeah, it is local host.
select on the script before the execution?
What do you? I'll answer your question, but before that,
On the right side.
hold on. Before, give me 1 second. Let me answer a question here. Now, can you see, guys? Can you see the spikes here? This is spike, this is spike, this is spike, this is spike. Can you see these spikes? These spikes are because at a certain time we have clicked on a certain transaction. Now, what is the question again, Munir bhai, please?
Particularly, before on the wooden select like on the script. Oh, yeah, it is, yes.
Yeah, it is localhost. Okay. Now let me bring result, analyze result. I will quickly show you the effect of the rendezvous point. So now, why we use rendezvous point analyzing tool to analyze the result? Does it make sense? That we use analyzer for analyzing results. Now, if you take a look, guys, average transaction response time, can you see we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have these spikes. These spikes are because of at a certain time we have clicked on flights. Can you see when we have clicked on flights and these flights are spiked because we have rendezvous point on that certain time we have clicked on flights, and that's why these spikes are here. Does it make sense? We do not have a higher response time in other transaction. Do you have? No. We have higher response time up to 6.5 seconds because we are clicking at the same time on flight. Can you see what will happen?
You can use it when you do the report and work, alright?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And if you take a look, you will see similar spikes in hits per second, right? In throughput, you will see everywhere. You will see the effect. How it is affecting when the users are clicking on something at the same time. How it is affecting? It is affecting everything, right? It is affecting everything. Now, if you click on, let's say, add new graph, and then let's say new graph on what? Let's say system resources, Windows resources, right? So I brought Windows resources. I will show you one other thing. In Windows resources, right? If you select filter, can you see? It is typically showing you all the resources. But I am going to see particularly, I am going to see what resource? I am going to see the CPU uses, processor time. I am going to see only this one. Close. Okay. Now can you see? I am seeing only CPU uses. Can you see? These spikes because of the users were clicking on the flight at the same time, right? Guys, does it make
same time they put all like transaction are higher in all busy moment?
Yeah. Now let me show you one other very cool thing. I want to merge this graph with a transaction, right? Let's see if I can do that with transaction response time. Actually, let me see if I can transaction response time and then tile, right? I'm going to merge it. Now guys, can you see, like I don't need this open application login. I don't need it. I don't need this sign up. I just want to correlate it with the click on flights. Now can you see, when click on flights transaction response time is high, your CPU is high, because you know why, right? Because on this click on flights I am clicking at the same time, and at the same time, can you see, I have a spike in the processor. Does it make sense? And are you getting interest on this?
Yes.
Right.
Understood.
Right. So I have basically covered everything that I need to cover. Now I guess that we supposed to go up till 11. I am a little bit over, but what I assume I was able to answer most of your question why you were seeing errors, and I have covered all of the topics that I supposed to cover. I have recorded this session. I am going to send it to you. Now it is up to you how you gonna learn it, how you gonna practice it, and then give me a very positive feedback so that I can see my guys are very hungry to learn. They are giving their time. They are very motivated. I want to see you are very much motivated on this. And in the next class, throughout the courses, I have already answered all of these questions, all of these 10 questions. I have written all of the explanation very organized way, very practically. So when you read it, you will be able to understand it. It is in my website, and also I sent you already the link. So you go through these questions, prepare yourself. I want to see you. I am going to give you questions like this, and I am going to take your answer in the next class. And if you follow me, it will help you in the interview. You will get pretty much very good help from this procedure that I am following. I have given you 10 questions. When you are good, I will be providing you more questions. More.
So according to your reflection, like I saw that you guys, when you prepare the from BA, then we prepare text plan.
Yeah.
And or we prepare text plan, and we test case also.
We prepare test plan. After preparing test plan, we create our test cases, and according to the schedule, we execute the test, and after all of the execution, we prepare report and give a walkthrough.
Right. Last moment you explain is, can you explain one more time? Is that one is in a mark over there?
Yeah, sure, I'll do
on
that.
The graph?
Yeah, sure. Now, let's come here. Let's say,
Yes, right.
yeah, let's say you want to merge another graph. Let's go to first how I brought Windows resources, add new graph, and then I clicked on system resources, Windows resources, I click open graph. But now if you look at Windows resources, right, I have only what CPU. Let's say you want to see the use of memory. Let's bring one more graph, one more Windows resources, open graph. Right now you can see all of the graphs are here, but you do not want to see all of the graphs. So you go to this one and you apply a filter. What is the filter? We want to see, previously we have processor, now I want to see committed bytes. That is actually the memory. You want to see the use of memory, and click OK. Now can you see the use of memory is graph is in that way, right? Now let's say this is your memory, right? You rename it. Let's say you rename it as memory committed bytes. Now you want to merge it with something else. You want to merge this graph with, let's say, number of V users, right? Now can you see, like, your V users, you ramp up the users gradually, and this is your V users, right? When your V users are at top, your memory, in that way you can compare how it is affecting when you are increasing V users, how it is increasing your memory. Okay?
Yes.
Alright, so how are we feeling at this point, guys?
Real quick, I show my load runner stuff, something like the correlation part, real quick.
That's a question about how we feeling about the load, right?
About what we go discussed so far.
Yeah, we are feeling good. This my side, I think we have a better, a good view about load runner, and the concept is very clear. And I think that we just need to keep on, practicing, and hopefully, we'll be expert like you one day.
So yeah, definitely, you'll be more expert than me. It needs like practice. Yeah. All right. So Nabet, I will go to your computer. Before that, let me stop recording because I do not want to. It is already pretty long. So let me stop.
Before you go, what is our homework? We have
Yeah.
next week or what?
So your homework will be the homework that I sent you previously. In every, like, you will be preparing all of the script first, and then when you are done with that, the point that we discussed today, rendezvous point, you will be creating a similar script that I created today. You will be inserting rendezvous point, you will be executing it, you will be adding resources, Windows resources, you will be merging graph, you will be doing everything what we did. That will be your homework.
After this will be in the final class for load run, or you want to go more?
Hold on, and then I have 10 interview questions that I provided you. So I will be looking for your answer for this 10 interview questions in the next class. And after that, I want to see what is your status actually. When I am happy that you are good on this, then I will decide on that one.
Okay.
Right. So let me stop recording, and then I will be moving forward with the further discussion. And I know it was a long session and it was not that much interesting discussion, but thank you for your patience. Let me stop recording here.